So as you saw in episode 1 and 2, we made a lot of progress on the turbo, but we didn't know if it would work, so a lot of the stuff was temporary, and it was kind of a rush job since we only had 1 weekend before we had to get back to college. So in this episode, we're just gonna kind of tie things up, pretty it up, and before we can get to driving this thing.
So obviously, this boost pipe was temporary. For one, it kind of expand with the pressure, and another thing is we're pretty sure this thing is not fuel rated, so it would probably deteriorate and like get into our engine. So yeah, this thing needs to go.
Yeah, we'll just replace it with some metal piping. It's gonna be mint.
So this is our old oiling system setup. Thank you guys for all your comments. We went back and looked at the diagrams, and we did have our oil inlet and outlet wrong. So we had like the petcock going into the small side, and then like the big side, and then a really small drain. But so yeah, this is the oil inlet and has 2 really small holes inside there, and then this is the oil outlet. So we had that backwards. So yeah, we definitely fixed that.
So we did get some comments about wanting to have an adapter here, but we're thinking, I mean, if we had some sort of adapter, our carb would probably be out all the way out here. We could make a 90-degree one, but then that's going to interfere with our future boost piping. And, you know, the flanges line up. So, you know, I think we're totally okay with just bolting these up. But we'll pull this carb off right now, and hopefully we can clock it to where our kind of, our outlets of the turbo is a little bit more over here. That way we're not going all the way around town.
We've just about got the compressor housing unbolted. So we're gonna, you know, take this off, have to reclock everything, and then hopefully we can rotate this a little bit and have it be a little easier to attach. So yeah.
We will have to do some resealing, but we figured we'd take it off anyways. Pretty cool.
Yep. It actually kind of looks nice. The bearings seem, you know, normal. Honestly, we haven't ran it much. No chunks of steel.
Okay. The old switcheroo.
Perfect.
That's how she needs to be. Before we can put the compressor housing on, we need to basically modify our wastegate here, because we're not going to use our wastegate. We're not going to get enough pressure to be able to actuate this wastegate. So why would we even want to keep it? So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut it here, because this wastegate mount actually acts as a clip for the compressor housing. So Jason's we're going to just cut it out.
Yeah.
Right along there. So, got this back on, put some Yama bond in here, clocked it right this time. Now we'll tighten her up. It's a little funky, but we figure if we just go with a 90, it's not gonna be very invasive at all, and we'll be coming right down in this direction. We wanna do that instead of having like the carb way out here, so, because this needs to be level up in here. But it's looking good. All right guys, so now the challenge is we gotta go from our outlet here to the inlet on the motor. It's actually not gonna be too bad. I think we can pull it off with 2 90s. Another thing is our chain's gonna be right here, so we need to kind of stay out of the way on that. We'd like to keep it towards the inside, but our idea is first we're gonna chop this and try to get it here, and then if you can kind of imagine with me, this is kind of lined up, so if we had another 90 in here, we'd be right on track.
So yeah, all we need to do is bend this up so that it matches with this point, and then we know our bender adds 3 7/8 to it, so we just mark where it needs to be, subtract that, and it should line up perfectly with that. Boom.
This isn't that hard though. You're close to 90.
All right, moment of truth. I know y'all are gonna be super sad to see our boost tube gone, but
wow, that looks good, man.
yeah, actually it's gonna fit pretty well. So we got a thin layer of Yama Bond on, and now we can bolt this right up.
Sweet.
Yeah. A lot better than the tube.
Nah, I like the tube, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss the tube.
That's looking pretty good.
A lot better.
Dang.
Wow.
So we'll get this bolted in, and then over here we got the exhaust side. And this is kind of the old plate we had off the 60s cart that we turboed, and you can just see it's kind of already made, so it's ready for a Go Power Sports pipe. So we'll just cut out a Go Power Sports pipe and get that guy ran. That looks so sick!
Alright, so we don't have like a specific turbo mount. We do have a lot of weight on these two bolts. We do have this pipe kind of helping stabilize it, but we want to just take a little bit of this leverage off of the turbo. So, I mean, we just got this really thin piece, and we just gotta mount that right there. Doesn't go in.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yes.
Okay. Got that tight. So, and this is tight as well. So we kind of have it bolted up here. We have our little support, and we just got to tighten this little muffler up. RLV from Go Power Sports, of course. Yeah, but after this, we are ready to kind of turn fuel on and stuff like that and see how she sounds. It's gonna be awesome.
So we got this thing all full of gas and oil. We still have the petcock here, but we opened it up all the way, so it should be basically normal. But before we go back to college this weekend, we do want to just hear it and see if it actually works. So here goes nothing. Is the choke on?
Yeah. But
Oh wow.
Okay, here we go.
Oh.
okay. Go. Alrighty, so with that, this thing runs amazing, guys. We're super happy with it. We haven't had any pulls under boost yet, so we're kind of just with that basic air fuel mixture. But we have plenty of smoke under rev and stuff, so we're not really too worried about this thing. And I guess the next step is actually just ripping it. So stay tuned for the first drive of this thing. We wanted to get part 3 in the first drive in the 3rd video, but as you guys saw, and you know, I hope you're glad. We answered a lot of the comments, and thank you guys too. But it is way better than we had before. Like just haphazardly having like just that like rubber pipe and stuff on a turbo rotary mini bike, you know, that, we shouldn't have done that anyways. But it's all fixed now. So thank you guys for watching. be sure to stay tuned for next time when we rip this thing for the first time and you can hear this turbo spool up and stuff. Thank you, Go Power Sports. Follow us on Instagram at Build Break Repeat. See you next time.